Hello everyone, this is Tom Nook. It's 9:14 a.m. this happy Thursday, June 13th, 2024. As I mentioned yesterday, Resident Services is closed today due to construction. I realize this may be a bit of inconvenience, but I promise the island will be better for it. You'll see. As you can imagine, I'll have my paws full today with the Resident Services construction. I'll be getting back to that now. Have a good day, everyone. So, what is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Animal Crossing New Horizons. Last episode was actually a pretty generic day. Not a whole lot went on. Took care of various random things. Mostly just went about the island. We also did visit a Nook Miles Island, and we're actually going to be doing a bit more of that today. In fact, we're mostly just going to spend the day traveling. Going from to various places. We're going to go to Harv's Island again, as well as going to a couple more Nook Miles Islands. I actually bought another Nook Miles ticket right before the Resident Services closed, so we have two of those that we're going to get to spend today. We're also going to get to redeem our turnips today, finally, so that's pretty cool. I'm also going to grab these things, and I have an excuse to now go inside my house and show what I've done with the place, which isn't much, but remember, I don't have a whole lot of furniture to choose from. Just wanted to make it feel at least a little bit more homely than it already was, so yeah, I've actually got some organization going on here a little bit. We got my, this is the cleanup area. Clean the clothes, clean the face, clean the everything. I got a little fan palm. Got myself a telescope for looking out at the night sky. Ignore the fact that that is pointed directly at the window frame. Don't just ignore that. We got ourselves a wardrobe here for when I actually get myself some damn clothes. Got a fan going. I actually have a TV that I can turn on and kind of sit here to watch from. Not that I'm much of a cartoonist myself, but I figured this is like an adequate amount of clutter to make it look like I'm actually doing stuff. You know, and that's really what I like to do in life. It's not that I actually want to be doing things. I just need to make it appear as though I'm doing things. That has always been kind of my motto. Okay, let's put all this stuff away really quickly, just because, I grabbed it just because I didn't want to miss out on it. It is seasonal stuff, so it's nice to get that all taken care of. But we are done with the seasonal stuff for the month of June. We should be good to go for quite some time. Let's head back on outside, and there is a couple of things we're going to take care of here before we leave and get to flying. So first things first, we need to head to Nook's Cranny like immediately, and we're going to check up on our turnip prices. Now, I do not know if it's going to be at this hour or if it's going to be in the afternoon where we get that final biggest possible spike. We will know depending on how close we are to 200 here. So let's quickly check our turnip prices, and we got 154 bells. Okay, I do believe it can go one level higher. Let me just make absolute sure of that. And indeed it can. Okay, so we're going to try coming back here in the afternoon. That should be when the spike is at its absolute highest, so we're good to go with that. We'll actually end the day by grabbing some turnips then. Or, well, I don't know about end the day, but I think what we'll do is we'll cut this episode into two halves at two different parts of the day. Let's redeem our Nook Miles here really, really quickly as I get a little bit more for Horde reward. Oh my goodness, look at all that. You're getting so many Nook Miles so fast, and especially as we get into some of the bigger achievements, those are obviously going to be worth more. Let me take a look and see what they have for walls here really quickly. Not really anything that is great for me. Red Art Deco wall. You know, if I had like a really fancy house, I actually could see that not being the tackiest thing ever, but I do not have that at the moment, so I'm just going to leave everything be. The pine board flooring actually isn't too bad, but it's not the flooring that I have a problem with currently. It's my wallpaper. I really don't like my wallpaper in relation to the current flooring I have, and I kind of want to actually keep that flooring for the time being because it's not a bad look. It really honestly isn't. Okay, so why don't we start things off here by heading back to Harv's Island. This is something we're going to want to do again, mainly to, to go. We want to see if we can check in on Reese and Cyrus, see if they have a new photo opportunity for us. But there is actually another reason I want to go there, and I don't know if actually it's going to trigger this time, but I'm certainly going to try. So I'll see you all there in just a moment. Okay, so sorry about the jarring nature of this cut. I'm actually kind of just winging it right now because even I'm actually a little bit confused about trying to get this to work. So I will do the absolute best I can. So I'm going to head on in to Harv's house. And no, we are not going to be talking to Reese and Cyrus, at least not at this exact moment. Instead, I want to actually show off Photopia, which is obviously Harv's entire space that we can use to plan photos in. Now, there is one thing in particular that I want to trigger, but it's going to take some time to do so. But there are some preliminary stuff we need to do. So first of all, he's got all these different rooms with different sets and backgrounds and things of that nature that we can play with and drop furniture in and set up things. This is basically just to set up scenarios in which you can have, you can take photos, obviously. And a big thing is being able to invite some villagers here, which you can use your own villagers if you so desire, or you can also use amiibo cards to bring other villagers that way. And I actually have several on hand that I can use to do this with. So I'm just going to check and see what would be the best room to probably do this in. I'm thinking the upstairs one with the outside sort of garden look to it. We can sort of set up some props up there and we can see what we can do. And then we can show how you can pose different characters. I don't know. This one is, I think, the one where Reese and Cyrus are at. I could be wrong, although they might not be here unless I actually trigger the end. Yeah, okay. They're not here unless I actually trigger the actual anniversary thing and talk to Harv to get that set up. So let me head upstairs really quickly. I think this left one is like a kiddie room or something like that. Let me head upstairs and let me start placing some things, and we'll see what we can do. And maybe we can get some villagers in here. So first things first, let's get to work here. So when you see this displayed, hold an amiibo near the NFC touch point to call that character. Okay, so let's try to get creative with this thing really quickly. I'm going to get some amiibo cards at the ready, so give me just a second. Okay, first things first, let's try one really rare character named Ione, who we're going to drop down there. That is one of the newer characters that was added in the later updates. Let's see, who's another one I can add? One of my favorite villagers right here, which is Goldie. Let's drop her in. I love their little surprise faces as we put each and every single one of them in here. We also have Coco. Let's get her next. There we go. All right, let's get some guy representation in here. I think we should grab Zell here really fast. I'm just going through all the ones that I have. Ooh, here's another good one. Let's go with Scoot. Next, little jock villager. And then let's grab one more guy here. Let's grab Apollo, who I believe is an eagle of sorts. There we go. Okay. And on top of everything else, if I can, let's see here. Don't want to mess with those too much. Let's see. Okay, so got everybody sort of set up here. We're going to have to actually move them around into different spots. Let's see. I can take these guys and just kind of place them wherever I want to, and we can actually mess with their expressions a little bit, which is kind of cool. As we go over each of them, we can even also change their clothes up, although I think we can only give them the clothes that we already have access to. So like if I wanted to put Zell right here into a pilot's uniform, I can go ahead and do that. I mean, I think I'll just keep the default with him for the time being. I'll probably do that with all of them. We can just kind of set them all up, move them around, put them in place. I can put up to 10 people in this situation. We can also give them different expressions. So I can give like Joy to Ione. I can have a wave from Goldie. With Apollo, I can go with some delight, so he can be clapping, and then we can get some surprise out of Coco, given that these are all the expressions I have, which isn't a whole lot that I have access to. But with all those things in mind, I mean, I can just kind of line everybody up and get myself a picture here if I want to keep everything as is. So that is not the button that I meant to hit. Excuse me. I wanted to hit. Sorry, wrong controller. Just give them the old 1-2 and get a capture there. And like I said, you can just kind of put anyone wherever you want. This is obviously just an incredibly rough draft of this. If I want to put down more things, like the Mrs. Flamingo here, just to kind of add to the garden set, I can get myself a bird bath as well. All these are things that I can actually move around the room a little bit just to make it feel more like we're in a backyard. I wish I had, I mean, I probably could get a bonfire going. Where is that exactly? It's up at the top, is it not? Oh, I guess I don't actually have it made at the moment now, do I? I also love that you can get a director's chair. That just comes complimentary with all this because, well, you're literally directing something. Is there not a bonfire or a campfire? I could have sworn there would be, but apparently not. It's just the stuff that's in my storage, unfortunately. But yeah, so you can mess with amiibos. I thought you could also bring your characters here as well, but maybe I'm crazy about that. I thought I could bring the villagers that I actually have here. Hate to leave you all in darkness and whatnot. We can also have them looking at you if you want to, and they can get their expressions all going. There we go. Now they're all kind of doing that. So if I can keep that going, and then I can just kind of get them all moving at the same time, then we can get our picture, and boom, we actually get a little bit of expressiveness out of everybody. So yeah, a little bit of an interesting setup. There's a lot of creative things that people do with this that is way beyond me. I've never really actually messed with the Photopia feature all that much, but I am a big fan of it nonetheless. I think it's really clever. Probably the most interesting thing about this, though, is that bringing these characters here actually gives you the option to get a poster of them that you can then hang in your place if you so desire. I do not have this feature accessed yet, but I do believe just by placing them in there, we have now unlocked it. And notice how they're all down here. Can we talk to any of them down here? Are they just going to all look at us? I think they're just going to all look at us. That's not weird at all. I guess we can move this room around as well if we want to. I could even put them in seats if I wanted to, which is cool. Here, you know what, Coco? Why don't you plop a seat next to Ione really quickly? We'll put Goldie. I don't know, Goldie, you're probably looking at the wardrobe or something, and you two can sit there behind the chair. Apollo, you are the director, so tell me how you want this shot composed. Again, this is just an example of the different things that you can do in here. So yeah, very, very clever, very, very cool. Again, a lot of things you can mess with. Get amiibo card packs. They're not really that expensive anymore. There was a time where they really spiked in price, but it's honestly not too bad these days. But there we go. So, like, Harv's going to pretty much just keep pestering me about the anniversary photos. I'm not going to mess with it too much, so I think I'm just going to head back to the island. And I hope that triggered what I wanted it to trigger, because you have to pretty much go through a tutorial, quote-unquote, to get a little bit more out of this island, which we are unfortunately not at that point just yet. But I think because the anniversary photo thing, the whole marriage season is happening right now, I'm actually locked out of being able to advance further with Harv's Island, because he will not give me the Photopia tutorial. He usually pulls you into his house and is like, hey, we need to talk about all this, but it seems this has been the one thing I did not think through when starting this island in the middle of June. So, oh, hold on, I'm getting a call. This actually might be exactly what I wanted. Phone is ringing. Hello? Oh, hey, it's Harvey. I'm calling on the phone part of your phone. I forgot to tell you something when you were at Photopia. Go figure, right? What I want to tell you is about any models you invited to the studio. After you introduced us, I thought I'd take a nice portrait and turn it into a poster. Hope you like it. I set it up with Nook Shopping so you can order through them. So please order some. Alrighty then, I think that's about it. Hope you visit Harv's Island again sometime soon. Bye now. And there it is. Okay, what we are going to be waiting on now is, I do believe, a letter from Harv. Now, this is not going to arrive tomorrow. It will arrive in the future. Don't you worry. But it will at some point arrive, and we are going to need to follow up on that letter in due time. That was the main thing that I wanted to take care of upon going there. You just have to go through essentially one quote-unquote tutorial, one little photo shoot with actual characters there, and you will be granted the ability to advance a little bit further. But for now, let's just head back on in, and we are going to be flying to a Nook Miles Island today. Two, actually. Like I said, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on our island today. We're just going to be sort of killing time, actually, as we wait. Oh, wait a second, though. Before I go, though, really quickly, I'm going to bring myself a stone axe. I definitely need to have those for where we're headed off to. But no, I was going to say, yeah, we're just kind of killing time until this resident services is all opened up, which should happen tomorrow. So hang tight. I will be right back with the tools. And actually, I think I'll just meet you guys when we land on our first Nook Miles Island. And ooh, looks like we also got our first crossbreed there, too. That's really exciting. All right, see you all in just a moment. All right, here we are. All right, we're 2 down and docked at the target island. Delta Oscar is go. Meanwhile, I'll be in a holding pattern here. Get in touch when you need. It's not a holding pattern if you're just standing there on the dock, buddy. That's not how that works. All right, welcome to the brand new island, which it looks like is probably another pretty generic island, but a new island nonetheless. And look, we actually got ourselves another message in a bottle that we can get our hands on this time. All right, what do we got here? A jungle wall. Ooh, actually, I like it when I can get craftable walls. That's always awesome. Actually, why don't we take a look at that one really quickly before we go any further? Let's see. Ooh, that actually looks really, really fancy. I kind of like that, not going to lie. All right. So, it doesn't look like there's a ton to explore around here. We can obviously get more materials and whatnot. The main reason I'm here is actually to get things like wood and whatnot. I am going to shake all of the obligatory trees just in case I get my hands on a wasp. Because, you know, you never know when you're going to run into one of those things. Like so. Thank you. Okay, we should be good aside from that one then. So let's get our stone axes out and get to work here. Because I do have wood that I desperately need, especially regular wood. I am getting pretty dire on that, actually, because I've spent so much of it. That is kind of the biggest problem with that kind of wood, is that you use it all the time. Hardwood and softwood are used in incredibly deliberate recipes, while regular wood is just like the most versatile. So it's really helpful if you can get more of it. And notice how I'm not getting any of it out of these trees. Okay, thank you. There we go. Much better. Yeah, so definitely want to hunt down as much of this as I can. I'm going to be making a ton of stone axes in the future. In fact, I think what I'm going to do at some point, and we're getting pretty close to that point, is where I'm going to literally just fill up my entire tool wheel with nothing but stone axes, and I'm going to hit absolutely every single tree that I can until they all break. Like, I'm not even kidding, because I just want to get that much wood that I don't have to worry about wood ever again, because this is by far the most tedious stuff to grab. Now, what's also cool, and I've never actually shown this, is you can actually hit the fruit trees. I just don't, mainly because I don't want to actually knock the fruit down in most cases, but right now, it's actually totally fine. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's just hit these, and I'm also going to pick up the coconuts just because they're worth 500 a pop. So what is that, 4,000 out of all the coconuts on this island? Totally worth going after. So let's just keep doing that. Again, don't worry about littering on these islands. They will literally despawn. It is okay. And actually, I don't think I got everything out of that one just because it wouldn't spawn any more wood. There we go. Okay, that ought to do it. Now we can drop the orange that I definitely do not need. Perfect. All right. So yeah, a little bit of an uneventful one this time, but hey, we'll at least take all of the rewards from it, reap all of the benefits, and get ourselves some money, some goodies, some things that we can take home with us, and then we will just kind of turn right around and head off to the next Nook Miles Island. Again, I said today was just kind of a time killer, and I really, really mean that. But, I mean, this is kind of what the general Animal Crossing experience is like. It's just really unfortunate, and it feels bad right now because we don't have a lot of things to play with at the moment. We are still in a sort of a limited phase with the game where there's just not much we can do. We haven't unlocked a lot of the game's features, and so we can't do any like terraforming, we can't do a whole lot of customization or anything of that nature. So it's just a little bit hard to, again, do additional things beyond, just kind of walking around and doing really generic stuff. So it's, but we're close. We're really, really getting close. I promise you, we're only a couple of days away from being able to unlock the full breadth of systems within Animal Crossing where we can just really go to town on stuff. All right, I'll just take the 2 wood out of that. I'm okay. Can I get around that tree? Thank you. Problem is when you get into spaces like this, it gets really, really cramped. Am I going to get any wood out of this? Oh, there we go. I actually got all 3 that time. Thank goodness. All right, let's take all of that. I am sort of also eyeballing the bubbles out there. Is that one deviating a lot? I actually can't tell. I actually think I might go check that one out. Hang tight with me real quick. Okay, I want the one... Get me around. Is that one right there? There we go. Hardwood. Yeah, I think I might actually explore that one a little bit because it does seem to be moving around a lot more than normal. It doesn't seem to just be in a straight line. So that actually might be a rare deep sea creature. It also might just be one of the most common kind. We will see. Let's go take a look. Because remember, you can also do this around these islands too. Are you moving? Okay, no, that is not a rare one because it did not immediately try to run away from me the second I got close to it, so I will not bother with that. Instead, I will hit this guy over here, and I have been neglecting my deep sea adventures a little bit because I do need to be going after scallops after all. We need to get more DIYs from Pascal, who's out here swimming, being his otter self, so something to... remind myself, but also just to kind of remind you guys that, hey, yep, that is an important thing. You're going to want to go after that, not to mention the fact that deep sea creatures are actually worth quite a bit and get you a lot of money when you fill your pockets with them. So, yeah, all right. I say that this island is as much done as it is kind of a bust, so why don't we just kind of move on into the next one and see if it has anything. Ooh, actually, there's a bug I don't have right there. I have never caught a ladybug, actually, on this account, so let's grab that really quickly. Those will occasionally appear on flowers. Another reason to have those grown. So there we go. I love that. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am. Is that just a regular Darner dragonfly? I believe it is. There is another type of dragonfly that'll be zipping around every once in a while, but it moves a lot faster than the Darner dragonfly, and you can really only tell it apart by its speed and by the colors on its tail, because it actually has a striped yellow and black pattern as opposed to just a plain black pattern. But that's a little bit hard to tell apart from a distance, in my opinion. All right, I am going to head back, and I'm going to submit my other Nook Miles ticket and meet you guys back at the next one, and we'll see if it has anything good for us. So see you all in just a moment. All right, we are 2 down and docked at the target island. Delta Oscars, go. Meanwhile, being a holding pattern here, the same stuff that he always says. Okay, and this time it looks like another... No, actually, wait, hold on. This is a different island. This is Spiral Island right here. Okay, so if I remember correctly, there are 2 possibilities with an island pattern like this. One is just the shape being cute and different and all, which is kind of cool. It does, you know, it's a little bit of a different exploration, and you can actually do some interesting things here. The other thing and the other possibility that I'm aware of with this island in particular, and I'm going to test this theory, is that it looks incredibly similar to and might actually just be, and we'll wait for it and see if it actually happens, and that was a little late. Nope, I was incorrect. Okay, I wanted to be sure about that. Wow, I've never caught a crucian carp before. That is not a very uncommon fish. Sometimes an island similarly shaped to this is called Trash Island, and absolutely everything you fish out of the water, as I fat finger that again, everything you fish out of the water is trash. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be that one or not. It looks like that is not the case, so that is a good thing. This is just plain old Spiral Island, which is actually not super uncommon. It's like a 10% chance of getting it, you know, amongst a sea of island possibilities. I mean, I think, like I said, I think there are like 7 or 8 different island patterns that are at like 10%. So pretty high odds that you'll get it some way or another. But it is at least a little bit more unique than the more generic looking islands, even if it is functionally the exact same. So, oh shoot. Can I get to that? Oh, barely got there in time. Whew. You do have a second. You do have a second to get to them. Okay, so let's get the axe to work, and then we can get back to chopping wood. And, yeah, get that done. Oh, man. I mean, this is a pretty good example of what your average Animal Crossing day is going to look like. You're just going to be taking care of very menial tasks while building up things. I mean, your average Animal Crossing day when there's not a whole lot to be done. When you don't have oodles of furniture and you don't have a bunch of later things unlocked. I mean, this is honestly not too dissimilar from how it was in later Animal Crossing games, despite the fact that there was no crafting mechanic in those games. So let's just keep hitting trees. We already got our obligatory wasps, so we should be good to go. I think when we head back, what we'll do is we'll just kind of make a tour around the island, grab a couple things so we can just get some more money because, you know, we're obviously working towards another home loan. On top of other things, actually, in the future. So I will also keep doubling up on coconuts here, given that they are worth a fair bit. And I should probably also be checking these shells just in case they're worth anything. How am I on space? Not a ton. So I do need to actually be a little bit mindful of how much space I have left. The only problem with those oranges when they drop is that I'm freaking out of space as soon as they drop on the ground. Ay, ay, ay. But we're getting some wood at least. I think we should be able to at least run this stone axe into the ground here. We're getting close anyway. I actually should be keeping track of exactly how many trees you can hit with this thing. I think I'll play that as an experiment when I go to my 8 stone axe excursion in the future. Like, how many hits can I exactly do with a single stone axe before it breaks on me? I mean, that is a question worth answer. I'm sure that there's answers to that online somewhere, but I don't know. I kind of want to see for myself because it is, I mean, it's a curious thing. Let's hit all those. There is actually a summer shell here too, and if anything, well, I mean, one, I can use them for creating stuff, but any excess ones actually sell for a fair bit. They are some of the most valuable shells in the entire game. Okay, I missed the coconut tree over here, so I'm actually going to grab that really, really quickly. Might as well check the shell while I'm at it. But there we go. All right, how are we on space here? Oh, I am pretty much out of it, so I'm going to want to grab all of these things, and let's see what we got here. A cowrie. Okay, so nothing really of all that much value. Once again, another island that just didn't have a whole lot of mounting to it. Again, if you are trying to bank on really big things on these islands, I wouldn't. There is the most valuable island is one that can only be found at night, and it's something you're going to need to specifically plan for and farm for. This is exactly why back in the day when people were trading or making big trades online to get like certain villagers and whatnot, they would usually do Nook Miles tickets to do so, because one of the best ways to make a lot of bells could be done by going to one of these Nook Miles Islands, but the chances of encountering it, I think, were only like 2% in the evening. Now, it didn't matter what time of year, but it would affect a couple of things. Like, it wouldn't affect the value of the island, but it would, like, change one specific thing about it. There's a specific island that could either have all tarantulas and or all scorpions, depending on the time of year on it. And if you catch a full inventory's worth of those and then bring them back and then wait for a certain NPC that you can sell them to, you could make absolute bank off of them. Although I will honestly say that it still does possibly pale in comparison to the stock market when you play it properly, but I digress. But now for part 2 of our day. All right, it is a few hours later. We are looking at just the start of the afternoon, 1:05 p.m. It is time to go and check Nook's Cranny and follow up on our turnip prices, which should be at their absolute highest now. Let's head on inside and let's take a look. It's going to be, I think, at or really close to 200 bells, give or take a little bit. So let's take a look and see. Turnip prices, we got... and almost no increase whatsoever. Are you kidding me? Okay, that actually worries me a little bit because it looks like that is going to be the extent of our spike. And that sucks because I was absolutely hoping that it wouldn't just go up by 1 bell. Oh, that is absolutely abysmal. Okay, fine. Well, I think we're just going to have to sell at that then because there's a possibility it could go up Friday AM, but it's more than likely not going to. It's more than likely going to start to dip now. So I think I'm just going to sell here, and we are still going to get a profit out of these, a net profit, so we'll be able to get a fair few bells. Let's see what it's going to give me for it. It's going to give me 57,350 bells, which is going to be a nice chunk into our next loan that we're paying off. So I will absolutely take that. This means we're going to have to play the stock market more in future, though. So you can see we actually get a fair few miles for the number of bells that we got out of this. So we'll take that. Now the next threshold is 100,000. Our total profit was 21,830. So we're just going to have to keep playing that over and over again every single week. The only problem with it is you really got to watch your prices like a hawk. Check every morning, check every evening, before they close, of course, and just constantly be on the ball to make sure that you know where your prices are going. As far as the decreasing... oh, gosh, he's here again. As far as decreasing patterns are concerned, if you're ever curious, like, hey, when should I just try to bite the bullet and go, look, okay, I can't wait around forever and hope that this spikes at some point. What is the latest that I can possibly wait before I get... I know for a fact I'm going to get screwed on the stock market? That is Thursday AM. If you have not seen any sort of spike whatsoever, I'm talking even the slightest amount of increase by Thursday AM, I believe it, hold on. Let me be 100% on this first before I say this with 100% confidence. Okay, I'm glad I checked. It's actually Thursday PM, excuse me. If you have not seen any increase by Thursday PM, you are still going down in price. That means that it is 100% guaranteed to be the decreasing pattern, at which point you need to absolutely cut your losses and just deal with it. It sucks because you'll usually by that point have a 40 to 50% loss, but that is the latest that you can hold. If you're still holding by Friday AM, you are just losing money for no reason. So that is pretty much the cutoff point, and really the only thing you need to worry about. Fluctuating is obviously a slightly different story, but you will know full well if it's a fluctuating pattern long before you hit that point because fluctuating changes so much more frequently, so much more early on. So we'll head back and we'll deal with Gulliver a little bit later. I'm just going to kind of go around here and grab some more stuff because I would like to continue to maximize my bells a little bit. I actually am kind of glad Gulliver's here because there are some items that he gives that I'm actually a really big fan of for setting up things. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, man, I hate it when Gulliver shows up. And there is a point, sure, where that does get incredibly annoying because he does start to just give you a lot of repeat items and or basically just accessory items and stuff like that. And a lot of those can actually be really bad. But for the most part, it is actually a good thing when he's here, especially in the earlier days. Okay, let's talk to him. Oh, yeah, you can't wake up. Blah, blah, blah. Go at the helm, just 5 more minutes. Come on, Gulliver, wake up. No, I love that kid. I don't want to be Flotsam. Can I be Jetsam, please? He does have some funny quips, actually. Come on, buddy. Wake up. There's the merp I was waiting for. Oh, boy. Up we go on your feet, sailor. This isn't our first mystery beach, and it won't be our last. Let's swallow a lot of seawater. Come on, get it together. Talk to the local. Here we go. Hello, stranger. Is this your beach? You stubborn commitment to shoving me awake. Wait, I know you. You're Rusty? No, you're Levi. Hey, how you been? As for me, I'm still trapped in a will they, won't they relationship with that flirty siren we call the sea. And due to an unfortunate accident, that wasn't my fault, probably, I'm shipwrecked. Yes, again. Is it? I was about to say the exact same thing. Does it count as shipwrecked if I don't know where the ship is? I should probably know this. I'll figure that out later. For now, I have to call my ship and summon another rescue. And guess what we have to do? Communicator parts, of course. So here we go. We're going to be doing the same thing, making our way up the beach. Good thing I also have shells to go collect, so I will be doing exactly that. So just hang tight, Gulliver. I will get my shovel out, and I will be right back in just a moment. Okay, so let's pull that thing out really quickly. Can't believe I didn't break one of my stone axes in the process of doing all this, honestly. I'm not going to dig up the one spot that was right next to him because that's almost guaranteed to be a manila clam. The ones that are further down the coast are the ones that are much more likely going to be actually be the communicator parts. So let's see. What do we got? Any down this way? Possibly, probably, maybe. There's one. And, of course, I was aiming the wrong way. All right, we got our first one. Not bad. There's 4 to go. Like I said, this doesn't take too long. This isn't even the bad one, in my opinion. There is well, I actually don't want to spoil it. I'll show it off a little bit later. But there is actually something similar to this that I actually think is the worst one. It's like, oh, I have to take up these communicator parts. It's so tedious. It takes like 2 minutes. I'm not even kidding. It is one of the easiest things ever. In fact, can someone time me? Can I time me? I don't know if I'll remember to fix that in editing, but gosh dang it, like time me and see how long this takes. And I'm just going on a leisurely stroll as I do this too. Although I am running out of space here. Come on. Okay, there was a spot right here, was there not? Come on. There you go. And I keep freaking missing it. Man, I overshoot it every single time. Thank you. I mean, if it is a manila clam, I'm going to end up just dropping it anyway. So let's just push all those away. Hopefully I don't have this shell yet. Okay, I don't. We're good. All right, so, and then there is another one here. So that's not okay, that's a manila clam, which I do not want. So let's get rid of that. Let that just kind of sink into the sand, although it does give me a little bit of something for that, so I will take that. All right, let's just make our way back now and see if we can't happen across more communicator parts along the way. Hello, hello, any of them here? And I am definitely going to be doing some deep sea diving after this is all said and done in this episode, too. I need to get around to doing that, and then I can get myself some more money. Because the sooner I get to paying off that home loan, the better. Would be nice to get another upgrade. Maybe we can see ourselves getting another room, perhaps? More storage space will always be nice, too, especially as I continue to go buy things. And there is the last communicator part. All right, time. How long did that take? I don't think it was too long. I probably should have looked at the clock and my timer when I started that whole thing, but I did not. So back we go. And we'll turn those in, and we'll probably get a good reward. Like I said, he usually gives out furniture items to start, which is really awesome because a lot of them are really cool. Although I do think that his list in this game is a little bit lesser than some of the previous ones because he used to give out like models of like famous monuments and whatnot, and I was always a big fan of that, but not this time. Pieces are cramped back in. All right there, crew. It's me, your brother from another rudder. So listen, it happened again. Can you swing by to pick me up? He's pretty much the same text every single time. I like to imagine that Gulliver's text is like one of those memes where he sends that text, but like there's never a reply back ever. And so it's just like that exact text sent 30 times in a row, left on read every single time. That's how I imagine Gulliver's text conversations go. All right, let's grab all of that stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head back into Nook's Cranny and do a little bit of selling really quickly. And then I guess we can make our way around the island, and we could probably grab more fossils. I'm definitely missing out on a few of them. But I'm pretty much out of space at this point, so I need to get some things sold. 141,606. All right, so all of these can go. Let's save the ladybug because I don't want to get rid of that. Giant clam. Yes, yes, yes. Wasp. Sand dollars. We'll also get rid of the wooden load table and the cowries, and I will leave the crucian cart because that's another thing that I need to donate. All right, where are we at now? We are at, okay, 15,950 bells. Not bad. Okay, let's get on out of here. So we are just a little under 40,000 bells away from having our next loan paid off. I'd say this is going pretty well. Hey, what's the hot item today? Wooden block stereo. Okay, unless there's iron nuggets involved. And actually, how much is the wooden block stereo? You know, that's actually a good question, because I think that one does involve iron nuggets. I could probably make a few of those with all my excess softwood. Oh, I think I might actually do that, because the wooden block toy is easy. It's just a lot of softwood, and I haven't been using much of it lately. I think I almost want to do that. I think I might end up making a few of those and selling them. I'll probably be able to get a generous amount per stereo. And I have a ton of iron nuggets, so I think I think I'll go ahead and maybe make like 5 or 6 of those and then try to sell them at Nook's Cranny. But first things first, let's talk to Blathers here really quickly. And let's get some donations going. We're going to assess these fossils and then turn in our multiple things. I only do have 2 fossils at the moment, but that's okay. And then we'll see what we can get out of this. Aw, both of them. Well, I was really hoping that at least one of them would be new. I'm honestly surprised that happened so soon. I mean, I'm sure our fossil collection is actually getting pretty big already. I've turned in a fair bit. I mean, what are there, a total of like 50 possible fossils in the entire game? And I think I've already turned in like 20 plus. So the odds are there. It makes sense. All right, well, let's head on out then. And I think I'm going to go and actually make those stereos really quickly. So hang tight just a moment, and we'll see how much of a profit I can turn off of these things. Also, what's up, Cranston? Hey there. What's the latest? I'm going to go real hard today. Going to play hard, snack hard, yell sweatband hard. That's actually a good one right there. What did we also get for our Nook miles here really quick? Fossil assessment. Okay. Get those for every single time you assess those. I mean, we're approaching 20,000 on these miles. I think it's going really well. I actually apparently have another one that I missed. Hello. Good. Not that one. Wait. It said I had another one. Where is it? Hello? Oh, clam and collected. Okay, that makes sense. I must have gone right past it by accident. Oops. I think I double tapped the right stick. All right. Be right back. All right, well, with all these stereos in tow, let's have a look and see how much money we get out of this. So, what's up, Cranston? What do you need? Hey, Levi, thanks for coming over to say hi. It's real cool that I made a new friend the same day I moved. So, I got a welcome to the island thing, but for you, even though you already live here. It's not weird. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Glowing moss balloon. I made it back on my last island. It's the best one I've ever made. No sharp edges, no bad smells, and weighs what it's supposed to. Well, thanks. We're gonna be the bestest friends that ever friended, Sweatband. Ah, I love you. I absolutely love Cranston already. He's super awesome. All right, let's take a look at this thing. Glowing moss balloon. Let's place an item. And you know what? This is actually kind of interesting because this is based off of an item that we actually can't even get yet. It's a craftable that we'll get access to a little bit later on, but nonetheless, still really cool. I should also add that, you know how Rory gave me that manhole cover a few episodes ago? Agnes finally approached me between episodes and the last one, and she also gave me a manhole cover. So apparently they really want me to put a few of those down, even though it doesn't make any logistical sense right now. Okay, wooden block stereos, not the campfire cookware. Let's sell all of these and see how much we get out of 6 of these guys. And I'll sell the fossils after. I just want to see how much these are worth with the as hot items. Okay, 29,520 bells, so that's just a little under, what is that, 6,000 a piece from the hot item bonus, so I will absolutely take that. Generally, when it comes to any craftables and how much they're worth, it just has to do with the amalgamation of the value of all of the things that you put into it, and given that iron nuggets are actually quite pricey, that is really what that all boils down to. So we are only 6,000 away from being able to pay off our loan, which is kind of awesome. Now, obviously, we can't do that right now because we do not have access to the ABD at the moment, with it being closed. But we should be able to cross that threshold tomorrow. What with another Bell's tree in the works at the moment. So why don't we just kind of end this episode by doing a little bit of exploration? Because I actually haven't buried one today now that I think about it. So I should probably look around for that. I'm also still missing some fossils as well. But I think I'll turn those in tomorrow because we haven't really checked up on the cliffs at all today. So now would be a good time to do that. So let's get the ladder out. I really need to place some permanent ladders around here. I just need to spend the wood to do so, which I did get a fair bit today. So be a good time to do that, especially on this particular section of the cliff. But really, more than anything, I need access to building bridges and whatnot because those are going to come in big handy. which we will later, but we cannot, again, like I said, do so with bridge constructor kits like we did before. It's not so easy as just getting the materials to build the bridge. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have to start actually getting some money and whatnot, and it's a bit of a different scope, different scenario. Ooh, also, we got a pink Cosmo growing in the works. Again, I will get into crossbreeding a little bit more. I think I'll do a rudimentary course on it here really soon. Just so that we can kind of demonstrate, because we're already starting to see the fruits of that a little bit, what with that pink Cosmo coming in, and then I also have a black tulip coming in next to my house, so probably should start talking about that at least a little bit. This has mostly been due to all the rain over the past couple of days. Let's take a look around up here and see if we can't find ourselves, because yeah, again, I don't think I dug up a gold spot today, and I think I'm missing 1 or 2 fossil spots still. Let's check the top first before I go down. Nothing up here. Okay. On to the next level. It does feel like surprisingly uneventful and barren out here today. Okay, there is another one. So that's good at least. I really need to reorganize my tool wheel to one that actually is like comfortable for me also. I generally like to actually keep the shovel at the top of the tool wheel as opposed to on the bottom right, and that's what keeps throwing me off. So I need to get rid of these weeds as well. I haven't hit any of the rocks yet, and I probably will just do that off screen. No sense in necessarily showing that. At least not now. Excuse me, ladybug. And all right, we got a couple more spots to check. Because again, this island is so unbelievably segmented that we're going to have to make our way across all of this now, too. See, nothing down there. Anything over this way? Oh my goodness, I'm so shocked, honestly, to see it like this. All right, I also love, okay, speaking of the fish, as I vaulted over that fishy over there, what I think is actually really funny about the fish in this game is that when you use the vaulting pole, you do not scare them away by stabbing the vaulting pole into the water next to them. You scare them away by vaulting across something and then landing on the ground next to them. It's really weird and esoteric that it works that way. I mean, it's consistent based on, like, how they normally get scared away because, you know, just landing on things and stomping your feet or running. Oh, there's the gold spot. Tends to scare fish. But it's just kind of funny when you think about it. It's like, wouldn't, like, stabbing the water next to them be the thing that actually makes them scurry? I don't know. Makes a lot of sense to me. Now, one thing that you're going to have to worry about, and you can probably already see what's going on right now, but as you start to get more and more money, this is actually going to start to take up pocket space, so that's something you're going to need to consider in the future. Eventually, you really will need to start using your bank account to actually not go overboard when it comes to your space, so keep that in mind as well. I'm going to put that one away, and what you can do is you can actually put away the 99,000 bells if you want to, and it'll actually round up this bag to be at 84,000 instead. Generally, actually not the smartest idea, though. It's better to have the biggest possible bag in your inventory and the smallest possible amount in here, just because, obviously, that way you won't overflow into additional bell bags. So, guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I know it was a bit of a strange one. Did not a whole lot happen today. It was pretty uneventful. I mean, really the only thing we did is prepare to unlock more on Harv's Island, which we will be doing in the relatively near future, but it's still going to take some time. It was just kind of a step for another step that will be coming in due time, and hopefully we'll get to show the fruits of that labor here in a couple of episodes. But for now, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.